It is like 2:55 in the morning. I'm here because I was working, and I'm still here. So I figured my mind is gone. What better time for an Alex Uncut? So here we are in my studio basement. It's kind of creepy now that I think about it. Like, if you look around, it's actually super dark outside of this area. And I want to talk to you about how Americans abroad feel about America right now. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Before I get into it, though, I want to talk about two things very quickly. Number one, I've noticed a lot of you out there, not most of you, but a lot of you out there are getting very defensive when I say anything. Like, the first thing you always say to me, whether it's my Facebook post or my YouTube video, is, "Nuh-uh, it's not like that. You don't get it. You don't live here. You don't know anything." First of all, I get it. I don't live there. I don't live in America. But I also have an outsider's perspective, like looking into the snow globe of America, the bubble that is. So take that for exactly what it is. It's someone who's not living in America who sees it from the outside. But quit being so freaking defensive about it. Like, it's mind-blowing how someone will yell at me and be like, Alex, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't live here. You're not helping solve the problem. I'm like, well, neither are you. You're just sitting there yelling at people through your computer keyboard. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing I wanted to mention, I've already forgotten because it's 2:50 in the morning. So we're going to just keep going. We're talking about how Americans abroad feel about America. Look, it's not good. It's not great. We're not happy. And we're also bummed. I guess we'll start with the basic, the obvious one from South Korea, is that the number one feeling I always get looking at the news is, I told you so. And I know, like, I'm not talking to the president of the United States. I'm not talking to the governors. And I'm not talking to anyone who really has that kind of decision-making ability at the national and state level. But I am talking to people who are making decisions on the personal level of themselves. Nope, doesn't make sense in English, but I think it makes sense to you guys, right? Like, we keep saying things like, hey, just try something that Korea did, or wear a mask, or maybe don't go party, don't go to the beach. And over again, America has this, like, arrogance about, no, we know what we're doing. We can take care of ourselves. We're the best. We got this. And then you get 9,000 or 10,000 cases in Florida in one day, which is nearly like 75% of all the cases that South Korea got. Remember South Korea? Like, they were number 2 for the longest time. They were that other nation that was all about COVID-19. And you guys were all making fun of it, or like, oh, are you safe over there? And you guys are just getting destroyed. And we told you so. Look at my past videos. Wear a mask. Do the social distancing, all that stuff. And y'all just ain't doing it. Not everybody, to be fair, but not enough of you. That's for sure. I see too many people on my Facebook feeds who are still going out to bars and concerts and parties. Like, anyway, that's the first feeling we mostly have. I told you so. The second feeling is anger. And I guess the reason for that is multiple fold, twofold, threefold, I don't know. Like, you can't get it together. And we told you so. And you're still not doing what it takes. Like, it is frustrating to see your friends and family, generally speaking, doing the wrong things over and over again. And it's the wrong things. Like, this whole open up the economy thing, you're wrong. You're actually wrong this time. Like, all the states, I don't have the numbers in front of me because it's Alex Uncut, but there were 10 states, like the top 10 daily cases, for the last few days, and 9 of them were Trump voting states, and maybe half of them were like open up early states. One of them was California. That was the other one that was a non-Trump state. But like, you're doing the wrong thing, and you're proud of it, and it's frustrating. And we're not just angry because it's frustrating. We're angry because you're making us look bad. Like, really, like we have to explain to people what America is doing all the time abroad. Again, it's not all of you, but it's enough of you. Why do Americans do this? Why do police disproportionately kill black people? Why does everyone want to have a gun? Why are they screwing up the COVID-19 responses? So we're mad. We're also, another feeling we have is sorry for you. Like, we feel bad for you. It's not a good thing. Like, there's a lot that you don't know, and there's a lot that I've realized that we weren't taught as Americans. You know, we're undereducated. The things we learn in school aren't worldly. They're not... Like, yeah, we learn math and science. We don't do a good job with those either. But we don't learn things like cross-cultural communication. We don't travel abroad, even to Canada, you know, next door, or Mexico. We don't learn things that we need to be educated, that when a pandemic happens, we know enough to do the right thing. We're under-traveled, if that's even a word. And that's not always Americans' fault, by the way, being uneducated and not traveling enough. It's a big country. It's hard to go from America to France, but Germany to France is like right next door, right? But it's expensive to travel. The middle class and the poor classes are bleeding money. They don't have enough money. We're in so much debt. We're undereducated because most of the money goes only to a select few group of public schools, and the rest of the public schools don't get enough money to have a proper education for their kids. We're underpaid. You know, that's another issue too. And that's why I feel sorry for us, for you, for all of us. Because a lot of the criticisms that are levied against the United States aren't fair. Like, it's multiple factors. Like, you know, the whole, well, Americans, they don't speak multiple languages. And I'm like, yeah, because your neighbors are freaking Spain and Germany. Of course you'll pick up one of those languages. Just walk over there and say, Guten freaking Tag, right? And besides, actually, when you look at those countries too, like when you go to their countryside, they don't speak multiple languages either. Anyway, so like I said, we're mad at you. We say, I told you so. I also feel bad for us because all of our weaknesses are being shown right now, and it's not cool. And it's embarrassing. It's another feeling we have. Look, the other thing though is, I feel sorry for us too, the Americans who are abroad. And there's a few reasons for that too. Like, number one, I'm missing my sister's wedding. Granted, it's a small wedding now, and like the real celebration wedding will be next year. But, you know, we miss out on these things because America has not gotten their act together. And places like Europe are thinking like, you know what? We don't want people traveling to and from North America and Europe. So we're going to like block Americans from coming into Europe. Like, y'all screwing this up for us abroad. We can't go home. Like, do you get that too? Sorry, this is my frustration. It's 3 a.m, but like, I can't go home even just for the weekend to see my sister's wedding, because if I come back to Korea, I have a 14-day quarantine. So it's going to be like a 7-day trip at least, plus another 14 days. I can't leave my job for 21 days. So yeah, I feel bad for us that you guys are so politically divided. By the way, mostly Republican fault here. Like, I know y'all want to be like, y'all the anti-science party, except for a few anti-vaxxers, which we'll deal with them later. But your guys' decisions are meaning I can't come home. It's almost like I'm the opposite of trapped. Like America's putting themselves in a real bubble, and I soon enough, people from Korea are going to be allowed to go to other countries, and Americans won't. So, we'll see how that turns out. So I feel bad for us too. By the way, I know some of you guys are wondering, like, yeah, it's a clicker. I don't have a script, but I do have, like, some bullet points I don't want to forget. Okay, generally speaking, and I can't speak for everyone, here's how probably a majority of Americans in Korea think, and probably a majority of Americans around the world think who aren't in America. And it's going to be a shock for you guys. We all think that Trump's an idiot. Like, not a smart businessman. But he's good with China. Like, none of that. He's leading a country through a global virus outbreak pandemic without any knowledge on science or international policy, and he doesn't do his homework. And if me saying things about Trump right now makes you upset, it probably means you didn't do your homework either. Because he's really screwing this up. And he's one of the big reasons I'm not going to be able to go home for a long time. And if you're also one of the people that are going to sit down in the comments and defend Trump and be like, well, what about Biden? Biden's not in charge right now. Trump is. You're part of the reason we keep saying I told you so. It's part of the reason we still feel angry at America. You're part of the reason we feel sad about America, and part of the reason we feel sorry for ourselves. Consider this like an intervention. One of the many interventions I know that you're going through. If you're at least blindly following the president. And you're going through these interventions with your family and friends, mostly online, probably. You're going to do it for the next 5 months. But I hope one of these times you take your fingers off the keyboard and you just listen. Because I think that's one of the biggest problems Americans have, is we don't like to listen. Like, the rest of the world gave advice on what to do for COVID-19, and you guys didn't listen. We're still giving advice, and you're still not listening. You're not listening to your own citizens, our fellow Americans, because, well, black people need to take care of their own problems first before we listen to their complaints about the police. You don't listen to scientists. The world's still on fire. Like, global warming is a thing. Like it or not. Just don't listen. Oh no, I guess that's my rant about America today. That was a real Alex Uncut. Oh man, I did not expect it to go that serious. And I usually never do, but they usually do end up that serious. So anyway, let me go home. Please, just let me go home. Do the right things for a couple of months. Go back inside, socially distance yourself, and wear a freaking mask. I didn't even talk about masks today. This was Alex Uncut, as real as it gets. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Haseo. Just wear the stupid mask. It's not that hard.